The next speaker is the talk is the world's biggest analog. One mission, multiple habitats, collaborative research. The largest space simulation mission of its kind to be done in 2025. The speaker is Paul Prouse. Do we have the speaker?
Yes.
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, sir. Over to you.
Paul, you see all black. I don't think you're sharing the right screen. So please stop sharing, share again. And you're muted. Okay, now, yes. But we have the Zoom window on the top. See the Zoom bar, and you're muted. But we can leave with that, but we just need you to unmute yourself. You muted?
Thanks for that. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Right.
Can you move one slide?
What am I showing right now, Gustavo?
Now we see all black. We were seeing...
All black?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
right now it's black.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. Let's see if I can do this properly.
Yes,
Any
okay.
good?
Yeah.
Are we on? Okay. Thank you, Lavaniel, for your kind introduction. I'm grateful to the organising committee too, who, despite knowing me, have nevertheless given me this opportunity to share this amazing project with our global community of astronomy educators. Many thanks also to my friends and colleagues who have joined us live to watch my presentation or who are watching later on demand. The Unistellar commissioned Wakefield Research to survey 500 nationally representative US parents of children aged 7 to 14 years. According to their independent study, 93% of students are excited about space. But unfortunately, interest in space does not always translate into interest in a career in space. A report by Our Space, Our Future found that while 63% of students in the UK aged 9 to 17 found space science to be interesting, only 18% wanted to work in the sector. School outreach and the media build motivation for pursuing a career in space, but this needs to be accompanied by the development of capability, the skills and experience required for a job in the space sector. Education and training are all about building that capability. In the not too distant future, we're going to have a permanent human presence on the moon, and possibly, further down the line, on Mars. These permanent habitats will not only be from the government agencies of various nations, but also there'll be private industry as well, who will all have to live and work together in the relatively hostile environment of space. I like to use the analogy of Antarctica, where we currently have lots of different nations with their bases doing their own research independently, but also having to collaborate and come together due to the extreme environments and isolation out there. We're proposing to simulate this particular scenario where you'll have various different habitats on the moon, in orbit, and also on Mars. This slide shows some of the challenges you would face when living and working in a space environmental habitat, and in terms of its humans and occupants. Obviously, analog simulations can't address all of these challenges and issues, such as there's nothing we can do here on Earth to address things like microgravity or the radiation in space. But we can look at things such as the isolation effects, the limited research resources and protocols that we need to think about when communicating between the different habitats, and the cross-cultural collaboration, how we're actually going to live and work together, how we're going to collaborate on research and our general well-being. We can test out the technologies and other research that we would want to take with us into space. solution to figuring out some of these challenges is to conduct what we call an analog space mission, which is a simulation of a real space mission. This quote I've just taken, "The gateway to the moon is through analogs," is actually taken from NASA's own website. NASA has been using analog missions since the Apollo days, and there's a long pedigree of using analogs for simulating space missions. And now, from multiple analog habitats scattered around the world, the pins on this map are just a few of these locations. We are the largest and only coalition of professionals and organisations dealing in advance with the challenges of living in inhospitable environments. At the world's biggest analogue, our mission is to advance human spaceflight to new heights. WBA is our most ambitious endeavour yet, aiming to become the largest space analogue mission in history. This groundbreaking mission will have a game-changing impact and leave a lasting legacy. Our primary goal is to conduct rigorous scientific research, foster collaboration among experts, and develop protocols that will shape the future of space exploration. Through the WBA, we strive to unlock new knowledge and uncover solutions to the challenges of living and working in space. In addition to our scientific pursuits, we're committed to raising awareness and educating the public through various media platforms and educational initiatives. By sharing our mission online and in schools, we aim to inspire the next generation of explorers and enable individuals from around the globe to participate in this remarkable journey. What we're proposing is we'll be running a 1-month-long mission that's going to be conducted simultaneously at all these world's analog habitats. We'll be carrying out research independently, but also collaboratively across these habitats. The primary goal is to conduct that collaborative research and to develop protocols for working together. The secondary goal of the world's biggest analogue is to raise awareness via media online and an online educational programme. We're hoping to conduct outreach where we're going to create an educational programme that we roll out globally through schools and through an online medium. We're hoping to have a game-changing impact by doing WBA. We want this to be fully inclusive. As a global collaboration, we're very focused on making sure that the crews and the team in general are diverse. We're also very much focused on sustainability and on research that has demonstrable application and a positive impact on Earth. We want to make sure that it's collaboratively across the habitats, and it's also replicable scientific research. One of the outcomes I mentioned was science communication and outreach. We're also hoping to consider the community building side of things, how this is going to impact local communities through outreach and our social responsibilities. We're going to be creating a database into which data from the research will be presented and available to the public. Hopefully, as a result of our collaborative efforts, this will spur some new studies. So, WBA may just be the first of many collaborative missions. We're going to be rolling out the standards and best practices during the mission. If you're interested to be part of this research and be part of something big, you can join the world's biggest analog mission and share research with the world of space exploration. We're looking for new ideas in areas like sustainability, human health, robotics, and more. Crew members across different habitats will simulate living off the Earth, and your work could be part of it. All you need to do is submit your proposal by the 30th of November at theworldsbiggestanalog.com and help to shape the future of space exploration. The next slide is just showing some of our partners who are already involved, many of whom may be known to those people joining us. These are some of the major analog habitats that have been running already for a number of years. Habitats that are currently participating are listed on the left-hand side. I'm categorizing them as advanced, intermediate, and beginner. The core team, who's also been working with us to plan and come up with the world's biggest analog protocols and research ideas, are listed here. These analog habitats have had a number of years' experience. The intermediate habitats, these are going to be some of the newer ones that are up and coming. Some haven't even been built yet. Some are currently in the process of being built. These habitats will be able to participate in WBA, but perhaps in a more limited way. So depending upon how far along they are in their mission processes, how much experience they've had up in the lead up to the WBA, we will be able to tailor it to each habitat's specific needs. And then there's the education program, which is a way for anybody anywhere in the world to be able to participate in WBA. So to summarize, the world's biggest analog is a groundbreaking global study, an international collaboration between scientists, engineers, doctors, scientific communicators, and artists. We all aim to unite world's analogs in simultaneous simulation. We're also hoping to collect a vast amount of data and from a diverse group of participants. We'll be involving at least 12 different analogs, have at least 60 different analog astronauts, will be scattered around the world, and will provide a broad variety of sample sets that we can collect. This initiative gives us an unprecedented opportunity to collaboration not only between the scientists, but also between different groups of people. As a community, we will try to answer really large questions. We'll be studying the interactions between the crew members. At the same time, we'll be testing the equipment and technologies that will be used in future space flights to develop standard operating procedures and optimize the operations and processes. We aim to study the adaptation to long-term isolation, focusing on developing overall communication systems and protocols for the ecosystem of outposts that we'll be mimicking during this project. At this time, when we think about extreme weather conditions around our world right now, there are some additional benefits for the Earth and space of this mission too. Global natural disasters increasing in frequency and severity. We are going to develop equipment spin-offs for better disaster management and assessments. Considering the overpopulation, we're going to be able to consider what it is like to be self-sufficient and sustainable. And these analog space habitat simulations can and have already been addressing the challenges of living with limited resources. I want to talk to you briefly about the crew selection and training, because I know that's a topic of interest. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the various stages of crew selection and training, of which there are 5. We opened up a pre-application at the end of last year, primarily just to gauge interest from people who may like to participate as a crew member. Those who were selected moved on into stage 2. They did interviews and group assessments. Once we moved forward with selecting those from stage 2, we went into the candidate selection, reviewing references and other relevant experience that they solicited on their resumes and applications. At that point, we submitted a formal candidate selection letter, and they had to provide a formal acceptance of their participation. The next stage is the training and evaluations. Going through the process of training, these potential candidates for the mission that lies ahead are going to be going through a series of different virtual and on-site training. Throughout, we're going to be doing assessments and evaluations that will help us to get to know how the individuals work together as a group, figure out who they work with best, and to look into their preference of which habitat they prefer to be assigned to. Then we'll go through the actual analog astronaut and crew selection, when we finally decide specific individuals who have met all of the eligibility and training requirements. We're going to assign them a specific habitat and a specific crew based upon the cohesion that we observed throughout the training process.
Sir, you have 5 more minutes.
Thank you. Here's a projection of what we're looking at in terms of the time frame. Stage 1 doesn't include the pre-selection registration we held in December of 2023. We conducted the interviews in June, and the applicants were notified they've been selected as a candidate in July. This month, we initiated the training and evaluation for all of the candidates. It's been done virtually, so people from all the world could participate in this part of the training. February 2025 is when we plan to do the final crew selection for the mission, when we're confirming that they will be participating in the mission and when they'll be assigned a crew and a habitat. We'll be selecting more people than we need. So if someone is unable to travel or decide it's not for them anymore, someone gets ill or injured, we're going to need to be able to fill those spots. So we have to make sure that we have people from our training pool to be able to draw upon. But just because the candidate doesn't get assigned to an analog habitat or they're not able to travel to that site, doesn't mean that they can't participate. They'll still be able to support the mission, perhaps remotely through mission control. We'll be doing another webinar specifically for crew selection and training with more finalized information and more details. And we'll advertise this for those who are interested in following the mission. So finally, to our brilliant team, many of whom will be known to those people joining us online now. Jazz Purival, who I've had the occasion to get to know recently, based in the UK, is an absolutely fantastic and inspirational leader and heads up a fantastic education team, including Brenda Trinidad and myself. And we are developing those educational resources, which we'll roll out in due course. Some of those people who are advising the mission and have been involved so far with those analog habitats include our very own Gernot Gromer from OEWF. So please do join us online on our analog astronaut community, connect with fellow enthusiasts, learn from experts and dive into exciting discussions and events. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our community offers the resources, support and inspiration you need. If you're not already part of the community, then you can use the link below in the slide, request to join and fill out the short form. We'll get you in. The final slide has some contact information for who you can contact if you have any questions. Please use the email on this slide to reach out to us directly. We're all available via LinkedIn, and please do check out the website. Thank you all very much indeed for this opportunity. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. That was a very large-scale project. It's mind-boggling. I hope everything goes well and it's a success. Do we have any questions?
Have a comment, if I might.
Thought you might.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see you on this side of events, but this is not the place for us to chat about that. Just to make sure you are aware about Explore, right? Our analog mission project where we are building a habitat here in Alqueva.
Yeah, I had heard. I've had the privilege of going there myself.
Okay.
Yes, this is very much going to be run in conjunction alongside, certainly not in competition with. So we have many of the same research co-collaborators.
No. The idea was I talked to Jas Pureval several times. The idea is to join hands and do the education part together because we will have students and schools and a habitat that is completely ready to collect the data for your educational part. So this is awesome to know that you're on the side as well.
Yeah,
so
thank you very much indeed. Cheers, Rosa.
Great news, great news.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry, of course.
I have a question. Is there a minimum eligibility criteria or anything to participate in this?
In what particular role, if any?
In the project, that analog project, or is it through if we have to go to our country's analog project and come through that, or?
No, not at all. Not at all. There's a direct route for everybody who wishes to be involved in whatever capacity there is. So the research call is still ongoing. I would be grateful for anyone who would wish to help out with developing educational resources and any other expertise that people can bring in outreach to our community. Then it'd be fantastic to hear from you. So wonderful opportunity for everybody to get involved. And still relatively early days. We don't plan on doing this mission until May of next year. So plenty of opportunity to get involved still. Please do reach out in whatever capacity you wish. Thank you. Great question.
Thank you.
Paul, do we have a date already for the world biggest analog? It's May next year.
So I hear. This is the latest
Okay.
that information I have, and
Okay. Oh, I think
I'll let you all know if it changes.
Okay, Alan Gold has a question.
Yes, there was very good, very interesting. This is an amazing project. Thank you. The thought that occurs to me and my question has to do with in real missions that happen that, from way back with NASA and then later, well, NASA and United States, Russia, then Japan and European Union. The real missions have the proportion of actual crew members to mission control is there's way more people in mission control, and then there's other support people besides mission control who are actually involved in the mission. So I'm wondering, in your analog, what is that proportion, or how does that picture look?
My straightforward answer, Alan, is I don't know. But you're absolutely right. We need sort of something of the volition of at least 10 to 1, perhaps more, people who are in the background supporting the mission. But I'm afraid that's not my area of expertise. That's not my involvement with WBA. So I'm afraid I can't answer your question directly. I don't know in our particular project how many there will be behind the scenes. If we look perhaps at the number of people on the slide who are already presented, we've already got part of the experienced team. In science and research, we've got the science and research team, training team, safety medical team. We haven't even got any analog astronauts yet, and we've still got 20 people forming the team without anybody having been selected to participate. We'd hope there are going to be lots of interested people participating as crew members in the habitats, but unfortunately not everybody can be selected, and we're going to draw on that expertise in supporting those people who are actually on the ground much later on in the process. So I'm afraid I don't know those numbers exactly yet, but again, if we keep in touch, then we can share that information with you. It's all very, very open and above board, and we'll be happy to share any information with you about the mission as we go forward.
That's a great opportunity to have a lot more people involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to involve everybody who wishes to be involved. Everybody has something that they can bring and contribute to this project. So please do reach out. We'd love to be in touch.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alan. Great question.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah,
Thanks,
it's going to
Gustavo.
be exciting. You're very welcome. And let's continue. So, 11, we have one more talk before the break.
Yes, the last talk of the day, we have Alvaro Folhas. He's here already, I saw, from Shadows to Enlightenment. This is about interdisciplinarity and using astronomy as a field that embraces different areas of knowledge. We can